What's good? Welcome back. Episode 3, Penthouse Project Wednesdays. Episode 2, we covered the God body and the 1% foundation of the body. Episode 3, we're going to be discussing the conscious state versus the subconscious state of the mind and how to leverage it. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome back, y'all. So today we're going to be talking about the subconscious versus the conscious brain. And if you know anything about that, your conscious is different from your subconscious. Your subconscious is the habits you do every day without thinking. Waking up, what side of the bed you got out of, brushing your teeth, what hand you drive with. But the crazy part about it is the subconscious habits is what pretty much determines your success in life, believe it or not. And then your conscious habits are,
Everyday decisions.
I'm finna go to the club. I'm about to go play basketball. These are conscious decisions that you put a little bit of thought into.
So in this episode, we're going to be discussing the importance of leveraging the subconscious. When you come to leveraging the subconscious, like Rone said, it's volatile when it comes to, it's vital. It's very vital when it comes to success, because your subconscious, you want to reprogram, because the subconscious is programmed between the ages of 1 and 7. So most of the decisions you make, or most of the things that you do habitually, you don't even know that you're doing it because you've been doing it for so long.
Exactly. So like, look, your first 7 years of your life is pretty much when your habits are formed and your brain is formed. So for instance, most people brush their hand with their right. Well, if you're right-handed, most people, whatever hand you are, that's the hand you're going to brush your teeth with. Exactly. We are used to being warm. We sleep under covers. We sleep on beds. This is all subconscious habits. If you grew up biting your nails, things that you don't notice, these are all subconscious habits. Unfortunately, only 1% of people are wealthy, so that means that 99% of people grew up with bad subconscious habits. And how do I know this? Because if we grew up with good subconscious habits, a lot more of us would be success, far more than 1%. So basically what I'm saying is you have to reprogram, we call it unlearn and relearn, to start on your path to success. So basically you got to change those subconscious habits. What time are you waking up in the morning? What are you eating? How are you talking to yourself is very important. That's a subconscious thing. If you used to talking from a negative standpoint in life, I can't do this, I don't feel like doing this, I'm not good enough for this, we don't even notice what these words are doing to us mentally. So it's our job to go back and unlearn them, and that's pretty much like some of the hardest stuff you can do, but some of the most rewarding stuff you can do ever in your life.
Definitely one of the hardest things you can do is to unlearn, to relearn, because it's so hard to unlearn. It takes 21 days to build a habit. It takes 90 days to form a lifestyle. So if you're doing everything you've been doing for more than those days, it's embedded in you. So to do that is very uncomfortable for most people. But as far as the subconscious, when it comes to training it, things that are important are things such as like affirmations. You wanna talk to yourself and speak words of encouragement, or turn the negative situations into positive situations just by being conscious of the decisions that you're gonna make. And I think that's the most important part of the subconscious, is really talking to yourself and knowing, paying attention to it. You gotta pay attention to your subconscious and your habits.
I got a 11-year-old, where's he 10-year-old nephew, and I went vegan back in 2016, and my nephew went vegan at the same time because I was living with my sister at the time. It was a little easier for him to go vegan because he did it within that 1 to 7 age range. And these is when your habits and stuff are kids are nothing but sponges. That's why they say ages 1 to 7. Kids are nothing but sponges. So that's why you got to be mindful what you teaching your children, what you telling your children, how you telling your children to think, what to eat, all of this stuff. Even exercise. Exercise can start very young. Is your kid on the video game? Majority of the time, is he looking at an iPhone, or is he outside getting some, sunlight, or is he outside exercising? Is he outside running? But I was back to the subject with my nephew. It was easy for him to go vegan, and I used to always tell my sister, like, she was like, when we was first trying to go vegan, she was like, I'm not sure he gonna like that. I'm not sure he's gonna like, eating more vegetables. Kids don't typically like vegetables, but it's because of the parents. If you give kids candy to shut them up when they're crying, or if you give kids ice cream and stuff like that, you have no idea what sugar. First off, sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine, so you have no idea what it's doing to that brain, to a kid's brain. And now they think that this is what they're supposed to eat.
especially with it being rewarding behavior, because kids want to do what gives them rewards. So if I do good and I get something that's bad for me, I'm gonna always do good so I can get that bad thing. And that's what most people don't understand. When you programming your child, you gotta program your child not for the things that's always good, but well, not necessarily good, but the things that sound the best, most rewarding, like ice cream, like candy, for example, but the things that'll be the most beneficial instead.
Your eating habits are subconscious. When I first changed my diet back in 2016, it was the toughest thing. All I was eating was white rice and black beans and making terrible spaghetti with just pasta sauce and noodles. It was tough. And it took me about like he said, 21 to 90 days to form new habits in my life. Eventually it got easier. And now 4 or 5 years in, I couldn't even imagine going back to eating how I used to eat, which is not a plant-based diet.
That's true.
Because I rewired my subconscious. If you paid attention to the past episodes, we often talk about something called a polar plunge. People hate it, but that's because we grew up taking hot showers.
Yeah, it was comfortable for us.
Cold showers have more benefits. Do the research. I promise you. Why is it that the things that have more benefit in our life seem so difficult for us to do? It's because the things that don't have that much benefit in our life are easiest and most comfortable for us to do. So if we waking up and taking cold showers and hopping in cold pools every day, it never gets easier, or so it seems. It's gonna take way longer for me to like that versus if I was hopping in a hot tub every day.
True.
That's because I was my whole life, ever since I was a little kid, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, I hated the cold. I'm in a hot shower. Feel way better.
That's true. I mean, even going back on our journey and reprogramming our subconscious mind, like we still do it to this day because there's still some habits that we haven't broken or that we working on breaking. But I think the power of affirmation goes so underrated because listening to those affirmations at night when your brain is in, what is it called, REM?
REM sleep, yeah.
Yeah, when you're in REM sleep.
Rapid eye movement.
Yep. So when you listening to those affirmations for 8 hours, you don't even know that your brain is rewiring because your brain is always functioning.
We're going to drop some links. When we release the podcast tomorrow on YouTube, we're going to drop some links to some very good
Playlists
that you can go on Apple Music and download. But whatever you want to attract in life, if it's happiness, if it's finances, obviously, more confidence, it's crazy if you turn these audios on and he recommends the guy, I forgot his name, the guy who makes these playlists, they're on Apple Music, he recommends turning your volume down pretty low. Because think about the subconscious brain is, it picks up on stuff that we can't hear with our conscious brain. It's two separate separate compartments of the brain, but our subconscious brain can pick up on things lower than a whisper, believe it or not. Yeah. So when you listen to these things and you sleep, you may think it's ridiculous the first month, but if you could just stick with it, you'd be surprised how you start thinking and how you start talking 3-4 months later. Your whole trajectory towards life is going to change depending on what you're listening to.
Or even on your reel that you just did. On your reel, like, for example, how you said your goals 10 to 15 times in the morning. You reprogram your subconscious mind to think about what you want to attain in life. But it take those, I mean, the conscious part of the brain is important, but I think your habits are more important than your decisions sometimes.
100%. I read my success goals. I make new ones. They change every year. I'm not going to get into detail what they say, but every morning, if you watch the reel that we had posted on Instagram, I think it was yesterday, every morning I wake up, I read my goals. I'm also drop a link to this book called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. He talks about this. He has this whole plan. It's kind of like, let me see if I can paint this picture for y'all. So whatever you want in life, he says, draw that letter for whatever it is. For mine, it was success. I would write S, draw 2 squiggly lines around it because 2 squiggly lines represent energies. Because that's all emotions are. Energy and motion. If you ever wanted to just break that word down, True. Literally, energy and motion. So I wrote the letter S for success, put 2 squiggly lines around it. On one side of the paper, I write intentions. What do I want in life? So one of my goals was 67 figures a month off of all my businesses between Spencer Houses USA, Penthouse Project, the restaurant, and other business ventures that we're going to get into. Retiring my mom, 4 or 5 houses across the nation and out the country. It's just stuff like that. And then on the other side, you're gonna write emotions. And then basically, how do these goals, these intentions make you feel? And I would put, I feel happy, I feel complete, I feel gratitude. And so basically, you read that in that order. Success means to me 6-7 figures a month for this, retire my mom, Yep. This makes me feel happy, gratitude. And I read it 10 times in the morning, and then I go and meditate. And he got this meditation. I don't know how he did it, man, because when it first happened, I was spooked out of my mind. I literally had called Sam. But when I meditated, I saw all of that stuff, and I wasn't forcing it. I just closed my eyes and let my brain go where it's want to go, and then obviously it went to the future.
Yeah.
And I saw all of it. Like, I saw me as a grown man. I know it sounds crazy, sound like I'm telling a fairy tale, but I saw me as a grown man. I saw everything that I was writing down. And I did that when life wasn't so gravy months back. And I remember writing down one of my goals to get a nice loft that costed a certain dollar amount a month. Didn't know how I was going to get it. Didn't know where I was going to get the money from. Fast forward June 2021, I had moved into pretty much the same crib that I was envisioning because I was rewiring my subconscious from impossibility to possibility. And ever since then, I stopped playing with how I talk, or what I fix my mouth to say, what I even think, which is one of the hardest things, because we all think negative thoughts sometimes. But every time you get them, you're just supposed to knock them down. Because once you witness it firsthand for yourself, you would never play with it again. So I don't even let people talk bad on me. Like when I was in the gym, somebody was like, "Man, you better stop lifting all that weight for you drop it on your chest." And it's like, man, don't even play like that. Why would you speak that over my life?
Oh, that's power. That's the power of the tongue all day. People gotta understand words got so much power behind them. And I think the power of meditation, though, how you talked about the meditation, I think the power of meditation goes underrated because most people don't understand the act of doing nothing and just letting your brain take a breather from all these thoughts that we consume a day is like the best thing for you because you can think those positive thoughts in that instance. And then like as far as the Joe Dispenza, like I know for me it definitely worked because about a year ago on my Joe Dispenza list, just a couple bullet points that I had on there was to graduate college on time, start my law school journey, and to do, just small goals. And I was micromanaging these goals, but subconsciously, I knew every day that I had to make it a habit to do something to move forward on these goals. And I think that's the biggest thing of the habits. It's like your habits help you make the better decisions because your habits going to let you know, like, nah, that's not right. Just do this instead. It's like right from wrong almost. But, yeah, like I think that's the most important part, like the meditation part that you spoke on, and just telling people how when you meditate something, it's like a form of manifestation. So manifesting. I know people on social media overuse the word a little bit because everybody be manifesting it, but not working because they just feel like it's gonna come. But I think people need to really.
You know what's crazy? I just feel like, as far as people on social media, manifesting is good, and we like to see it. Everybody like to see it. But just because you repost a post from some inspirational page on your story, necessarily that's not manifesting. You gotta manifest. Say you want to, all right. Say, okay, I want to start a Fortune 500 company, right? And Fortune 500 is having 500 or more employees. That's what that means. So I want to start a Fortune 500 company, which obviously means I'm at least 8-figure north type guy, which means 50, 60, 70 million, that range, or north. People just say that, I want a Fortune 500. But really what you should try to do is manifest the work ethic to get there. Like, I want to turn myself into a beast. I want to turn myself into the guy who's not going to stop. I want to turn myself into the guy who will lose sleep about it. Because I feel like that's the disconnect. You can't just say, I want to go out, I want to be Leonardo DiCaprio. But you're not even manifesting getting into a good acting school or something. Or even manifestation comes with taking those steps if you're doing it right. Because your body is just going to move in that direction. Like, I'm not super sharp on the whole spiritual thing, but I know that once I started doing it, it's just like I naturally became more spiritual. And that's another word that's overused because it's more than just playing with rocks and stuff like that. Like, it's really something on the inside of this vessel. Like this is just this thing that we call our bodies is just a rental. Yeah. And it's when we die, energy moves on and this just goes into the ground, you know what I'm saying? So it's something on the inside and you shouldn't play with it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's really moving you, not this vessel. So that's just with me getting more serious about my goals over the years. And I would say like when I really start locking in, when I say locking in, I started picking up self-help books. I started reading fiction. I started watching TV. and I was only reading self-help. All I read is self-help, and all I watch on TV, unless I got a girl coming over, is stuff that's gonna make me sharper. You get more spiritual with that because that's all spiritual, believe it or not. Like your spirit is moving in a different direction. So that's when I became more spiritual, when I became more serious about my life, honestly.
All day.
You know what I'm saying? And so don't you gotta manifest right. Like really figure out how to do that. And like I said, we're gonna drop a link to this book called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza, because
And a couple playlists.
it'll change your life.
The playlist is huge too. But I think going over the topic of the subconscious, I think it's important that we tell people the everyday habits that they need to practice to start programming it. Like, for example, people think pain is a problem, but pain actually pushes you past boundaries. So, for example, if I'm working out every day and I'm killing my body and I'm going through the pain, my body is letting itself know that they need to grow. So I think like working out, for example, I read an hour or two a day. So I'm reprogramming my subconscious. Well, I'm reading books that I first feel like I'm interested in, because you got to read books that you're interested in, not books that you feel like just going to help you. So whichever topic I feel like I'm interested in for the day or that I want to learn, I'm gonna read that. I'm gonna read a book about that, and then I'm gonna dive deeper into it and just learn about it. So reading, working out, what else? What else you think is some stuff?
Reading, working out. Food got vibrations. That's
Ooh,
crazy.
Yeah.
Now that's crazy. That's actually real crazy.
Ooh, man.
When you eat food, let me say, for instance, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was telling her how when somebody often says, I'm sad, I'm angry. Do y'all know why they kill the pig or the turkey, whatever animal people was eating from the back? Because, believe it or not, we all just animals. We are pretty much the same as pigs and stuff. We just got a bigger brain and we just a little bit smarter, basically is what I'm saying. They kill pigs and stuff from the back when they ready to turn them into food, because when you raise a gun to a human or something with a knife, fear, anxiety, a whole bunch of stuff, all these energies shooting through our body. And same thing happens with animals. When they raise whatever they killing that animal with to his head, a lot of these emotions shoot through the body, and then they kill it. They sell that food to somebody, that person go home, cook it, and they wonder like, man, I feel weird, man. I'm never happy.
The adrenaline, the scare.
It's crazy, because when you change your diet up, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been vegan for 5 years, but I'm not the best vegan. But it's just a simple fact that, like, the first step, like I said on the first or second podcast, I can't really remember, but we're not trying to sway nobody away from how they eat. Like, I'm not a pushy plant-based eater or whatever, but I'm just telling you my experience. When I start eating different, like, I never really feel like I never feel depressed. I never feel
Down too long.
down. If I'm down, honestly, I'm gonna be all the way 100 with y'all. If I'm down, it's probably because of money. Like, if I'm honest, that's the only thing that can get me out of whack. I've gotten to a point where
That can't even control it at this point.
It really can't. That even can't really keep me down. I've gotten to a point where I'm always in a high vibrational state. And I'm actually glad that we're having this episode, because these are words that are overused with very little people actually knowing what they mean. Like, high vibrational state is all of this stuff. You just gonna vibrate better and glow more when you got a sharper morning routine, believe it or not, because that's subconscious. Yeah. This is something that, like, the toughest guys that I know can't do this, and it's like, are you really tough, man? Can you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
It's a difference between being physically tough and being mentally tough. Being mentally tough can take you way farther than being physically tough can, because it's easy to use your body. It's harder to think. Most people, if you tell somebody to think, if somebody answer a question and then you tell them to elaborate on that question or think about their answer, most people gonna instantly shut down and get upset. Or like, you ever seen somebody mad and you ask them like, why you mad? And they just be like, man, wow, like, why you mad? Like, why I matter and stuff like that. And they get to tripping out and stuff like that. I feel like the hardest thing to do for some people be think, but it's like, it's so easy, because if you practice it every day, it's gonna fall in line.
It's actually crazy how all our episodes tie into each other. I remember last week when we were talking about the God body, I had mentioned something like, what did I say? I had mentioned something about just being angry for no reason and stuff like that. And it's crazy how we talking about how to change that whole situation.
Yeah.
I'm still in that food situation, because I really want to get deep into that. We got to start realizing how important that is to just like I said, we're not telling anybody to go to vegan, but just start eating better because I've literally heard people like, man, I feel some type of way and I don't even know what I'm feeling.
Nah, real talk.
I just be thinking like, man, how you don't know what you feeling? It's all right. So you got, and this is another thing I want to talk about too. Chakras is another word that's a little bit overused. Let's really get into them. Lower level chakras are usually like the negative ones. And then in that book's Becoming Supernatural, he tell you like, so if you're feeling fear, jealousy, anxiety, it's a whole bunch of emotions we can go over. Yeah. Fear, jealousy, boredom is a negative emotion if you didn't know that. Like being bored is actually a negative emotion.
You should never be bored.
It's down here in the pit of your stomach, around that area. And he teaches you how to pretty much bring that energy up to a higher vibrational emotion, right? Happiness, joy, calmness, all of these emotions pretty much of like Zen. He'll teach you how to pretty much convert your negative ones into positive ones. A lot of us don't even know why we feel it. That's why when you feel fear and stuff like that, you feel it in your stomach because those are lower vibrational and lower level chakra emotions. So I really want to pretty much touch on that and help people understand. And like we always say, it starts with reprogramming the habits. You got to start from the roots because 9 times out of 10, your boyfriend is not the reason why you angry. Like he probably doing some whack stuff, or your girlfriend probably not the reason you angry. But you like when you really right on the inside,
can't nobody make you
angry, man. Like,
can't nobody.
And then you also don't need nobody to make you happy.
You don't.
For people that always feel they need to be in a relationship, like you don't need nobody to make you happy when you right on the inside. Everybody else is just pretty much the cherries on top, but you already good. You already a good ice cream sundae. You just need the cherry on top is. You add that if you want to, but you don't need it. For real. But you got to get right first.
Yeah, for real.
You got to get right first.
And then touching on the food, like how many times have we met people and they be like, man, I went vegan for a minute. Man, I was feeling good. Like I was waking up early. I was feeling much lighter. But I don't know, man, I slipped back into that habit. But that's a subconscious that people don't know that soon as being vegan become inconvenient, like it's late at night and you ain't got nothing to eat, people instantly defer back to the first problem, which was like eating meat.
It's deeper than that too. It's dangerous to play with certain stuff, man. Like when I start having kids, I'm never gonna give my kids sugar. Like just can't do it because to this day I eat so many vegan sweets because when I was a kid, my dad never told me no when I wanted candy from the corner store. He'd give me $5 and I'm walking to the corner store. I'm getting 4 packs of Nollators, 4 packs of Boston baked beans, some Sour Patch Kids, chips, and juice. And that's what I was eating at 10. You know, I'm 10, so it's not really affecting me. But that carried over. Sugar, like I said, sugar is 8 times more addictive than cocaine. That's crazy. 8 times. Man. And somebody can fact check me on that number. I ain't read the fact in a long time, but I think it's 8 times. But I'm not, when I start having kids, I'm not going to play with that type of stuff. People always say, somebody asks me, you're not going to let your kids enjoy it? When I was 10 years old, I always tell Sam this story. When I was 10 years old, man, I went to my cousin's birthday party. He had turned like 8. I think he's 2 years younger than me. We go to the mall. My mom gave me money because she know that the movie theater is at the mall. So after that, we're going to eat mall food. I go to the spot called Sabrero's, Charlie's, and I get pizza and loaded bacon cheese fries. I'm having the time of my life. This kid pulls up with bean dip and chips. And he was eating it. And I was like, bro, what? And he was like, bro, I'm vegan. And this was 11 years ago. I'm 21 now. I'm like, bro, I don't even know what that means. I just know that you tripping. You know what I'm saying? God. Like, you going to miss out on this pizza with this pepperoni and cheese and all this stuff. He's like, I never had it before.
Man, at 11, you told me you vegan. I'm like, man, what you on?
Now that I think about it, it's like, he never had it before. So how does he know what it's like to be, like, it's just like somebody, like, why would I smoke crack? I don't know what that feels like. Crack addicts are addicted to that stuff because it's so hard to break it. Their brain has been felt some type of dopamine, and it's so hard to break it. That's the same situation with that kid. Like, why would he try this pizza? And when I realized that, I was like, I can raise my kids vegan, and no, I'm not gonna let them try all of this stuff because I had it. I know that it's not good for them, and I know that it's not gonna help them in the long run. It's not even just being in shape and not getting fat, but what it's doing for the spirit as well. If they only eating from the earth, they never gonna have to feel most of the emotions that most people deal with today. Because we'll go ahead and poison ourselves with all of this stuff, and then we'll go ahead and get on some medication or something like that. Like, I'm not saying that's bad, but I'm telling y'all right now, Big Pharma is not here to help us.
Nah, not at all. That's when you got to refer back to the quote. How can you feed a living body with a dead soul?
You got to be all the way honest with yourself. it's medication. You got to keep going back and getting refills because it's meant to keep you sick and keep them rich.
Oh man,
This is way. I'm just telling you ways we could break away from our own problems. Like it's deeper than finances. Like these are our own problems that we create upon ourselves. We can literally break away from this. And now you got a clear like everybody not a business guru, but if you get all the stuff that you can fix literally that's on the inside, right now you got a clear mind to even think about how you gonna make your first million. Most people can't even think about it because their brains are so clouded.
they can't process it.
Because of what we eating, what we consuming, who you like, what you consuming is what you seeing on Instagram every day. Like a lot of this stuff can be helpful, these social media platforms, but you gotta leverage them so they work for you. I only follow 200-something people. A lot of people call me bougie. It's like, bro, honestly, I love you to death. We went to school together, but I just can't see you smoking and drinking on your story every day and talk about this and that and promoting this and that.
Yeah, nah.
I'd rather go on your story and be like, oh, bro, in this lane, he doing a crypto thing. Let me see what's up. Let me DM him and see what's up. Or I was thinking about getting in that real estate lane and bro got his, he on it, or somebody come to my page like, oh, he doing he's in the fashion industry and they got the podcast, so we all supposed to be helping each other. That's how you leverage these things.
Yeah.
But it all ties back to subconscious. Like these apps are addicting. That's subconscious. All this stuff that we scroll, all this, just these big companies, they know. They know the power of subconscious and conscious. They know. That's why they millionaires. They know.
They know exactly how addicting it is. They know the power of the thumb scrolling. I mean, that go back to the quote you always say though, man. You gotta use social media. Don't let social media use you.
Don't let it use you. That's my favorite quote.
Because everybody is overly consumed with social media and keeping up with the Joneses. And that refer back to the one thing that me and you both I know is good at is having intellectual curiosity. A lot of people lose that as they get older, but they can look on Instagram for the Shade Room posts,
Let me tell you,
World Star.
My mom, before she got on Instagram, it's crazy because my mom on Instagram now. Shout out my mom. She really on there. I hope she watching this, right? My mom used to always wonder why I was on Instagram so much. And this is obviously before the clothing brand was on Instagram. This is like when I was 14, 15, like a straight addict, straight consumer of negative stuff and a straight consumer when we talking about actual product until I made that shift. Now I'm on Instagram every day because Instagram has literally changed my life because I started using it and stopped letting it use me.
Yeah.
When I tell you to click the link in that bio, sometimes people don't even know like how much justice y'all doing. We don't like to talk about numbers, but it's like when y'all click the link in that bio, Instagram has literally made it possible for that. That's why I talk about like using it. Now, quite personally, like if it was a lane in which obviously in 2020, well, we're going on 2022, there's no lane that you can't take to Instagram and make more profitable for yourself.
Oh, man,
but if there's a lane out there that literally doesn't require Instagram, I probably wouldn't use it, especially if I got the same mindset that I got now because I know how time consuming and pointless it can be. I would force myself to stop using it because even when I'm not dropping clothes or even when I'm not making content for Penthouse Project and other things that I got going on, I catch myself on it, just scrolling, wasting my time.
Man, hey, to be honest though, man, you really don't use Instagram that much unless you posting on your story to keep your engagement up, man. We really ain't on Instagram that much, and that's like even speaking back on my mom, I couldn't have a social media until I was 16.
That's another thing, man. The posting. That's really another thing that's very important that we like to talk about because I hear a lot of people like a fellow business, fellow entrepreneurs and people that run brands and stuff from Instagram. It's like you would rather sit on it and scroll all day, and then I say, "Yo, bro, why you don't post?" Bro, I think that's whack. Or bro, like I don't want to show my face. It's like, bro, you want success, so you would rather waste your time. Cause I'm telling you, bro, Instagram it's an algorithm, man. Sadly, it's an algorithm. Yeah. And basically, the way it works, to put it in simpler terms, Instagram gonna reward the people who use it. We gonna reward you for using us. That's pretty much how I go.
Oh yeah, all day.
So obviously, like if I was to, I've tested this hypothesis before. I've took a hiatus from posting on my story. Anybody who follow me know I keep a long story, and I got my comments off because it's like I post a lot, but I'm not here to have people swiping up. I'm thinking business mind. I'm here to keep my engagement up, especially when it's drop time. I'm never gonna have less than 40 stories on my story a day when it's drop time because the more engagement, the more people see the marketing towards Spencer or Penthouse Project, and the more people possibly, or more revenue we possibly bringing in. But this is how the algorithm work. I tested this hypothesis because I took like a month off before, and I posted on my story, came back, views was like at 100, and now they around 700-800 on a daily. If I'm using them, they want you to use them. But it's like, okay, y'all want us to be addicted, but I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna leverage y'all. That's how it goes. So for the people who feel like, oh, it's whack to post, if you're gonna be on there, bro, let it make you some money. Basically what I'm saying is let it build on something that you're already trying to build. Because other than that, it's pointless. I'm gonna be all honest, it's just addicting, it's just time consuming.
But that comes from, you gotta rewire your brain to learn how to scale though. You gotta know how to scale a business versus just always being a consumer. Not everybody gonna be producers. And we understand that, but to even change your mindset, well, even change your subconscious to understand what you're really consuming every day on a day-to-day basis, I think that play a role into the conscious state of mind though. Because you conscious when you looking at something and you know if something is poison or if it's good or bad. You know, like even like gossip. Gossip is one of those conscious decisions that you make every day to look at versus not looking at.
But you know what kind of confused me though? For instance, like I think like 90 or not, I don't think the number that high, but around 70-80% of men is addicted to porn. That's a conscious decision to go on there, but I feel like the addiction is subconscious.
But is the addiction subconscious or is the addiction the dopamine that you're using porn for?
I'm torn on that one. Like maybe they can help us, but I'm torn on that one. Just because other lanes too, porn, cigarettes, things that are highly addictive. When you pull out a cigarette, it's not like you're doing it subconsciously. You're doing that consciously.
I see what you're saying, because cigarette, it's an act. It's a habit. It's like you doing it. So I can see what you're saying, because it's subconsciously, I guess, the dopamine being released is the reason you want to keep doing it.
I feel like if we was to pretty much put like a step-by-step plan on how to reprogram the subconscious brain, I feel like first step is you got to know that it is a subconscious brain.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new thing this is just stuff that I feel like we don't talk about in school. If everybody know me, I'm a college dropout. I'm not, if college is beneficial for you, by all means stay in because it's beneficial for a lot of people. But a lot of things I didn't agree with in the educational system, and like things like subconscious versus conscious, something I never learned until I picked up a book. Like imagine that if I didn't go out and pick up a book, it's a reading epidemic out here. Nobody's reading. If I didn't go out there and be different and go and pick up a book and get serious about my life, I would have never known the difference between subconscious and conscious. And I looked up at 30 and I would have been in a position I didn't like, and I would have been like, bro, what's up?
All right.
I would have been like, bro, what's up with my life? So the first step is you got to know there is a difference between subconscious and conscious. That's first.
Okay.
Second step, start with the little things. If you're subconsciously used to waking up at 10, let's get uncomfortable. I'm not saying go all the way to 4:30. Let's try to get up at 8. Let's try to add 2 more hours on your day.
Micro. It's micro.
Micro
goals.
goals. That's what we like to call them. Like I said, if you get up at 10, let's do 8. You get 8 down pat. It takes 90 days to make a new habit. You get 8 down pat after those 3 months. All right, cool.
6.
You got to log this stuff. You got to write this stuff down. Let's do 6. You know what? Let's not even take it that far.
7.
Let's do 7. Let's do 7.
7 is a good time.
It's progression. After that, okay, cool. I did another 3 months. We 6 months in, it's almost half a year. Let's hike it up. 6:30, 6 o'clock, maybe even 5:30 if you're feeling bold.
Yeah.
And then make it a lifestyle. So basically what I'm saying, step 2 is micro goals. Let's start with like I said, waking up. If I saw this tweet, everybody was posting this tweet from this rapper, I forgot his name. He was like, man, I finally started liking water, man. I just realized how good it is for me. That's subconscious, bro.
That's crazy.
That's subconscious, bro.
But how do you just not like water though? Like that don't even make sense to me. Water?
Bro.
Ooh, like what you drinking if you're not drinking water?
Our people, us as a people, this is forbidden knowledge. I was talking to you about it yesterday. This is just like forbidden knowledge. This is stuff that we don't know and literally like has had us behind in the education system, financially, physically. This is all forbidden knowledge. And this is stuff that for some reason people of another color decided they wanted to hold back. But it's out there for us to go get, but you gotta want to go get it. You know what I'm saying?
But, well, just not to even cut you off real quick, touching on the topic of school, I feel like the most important thing about school is knowing what you're going for. And when you looking at majors and degrees, I think most people need to find a major of use. So like you got your sciences. Do psychology tie into science?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
you got your sciences, you got finance, and then you got your specialties. Like me personally, I'm going for a specialty, which is law. But my bachelor's, my undergrad is in a science. So I'm learning political science. So if I'm learning political science, I'm learning the basis of how to research politics or just how to research any information that I need to find. So I think when people talk about school, they need to understand that if you undecided or if you just a business administration major or something like that, you're not really learning much.
You know how I feel, and I agree with you 100%. I'm sure we all seen the movie The Matrix. I feel like taking the red pill is tapping into your subconscious and rewiring it. School, believe it or not, is programming. Everything is programming.
It's about memorization.
Yeah, but everything is programming to make these big billionaire, trillionaire guys richer. It's all a system. Taking a red pill is saying, nah, I'm gonna take a step outside of this. Like even if you in school, like taking a red pill don't mean you gotta drop out of school. You know what I'm saying? That's what I did. That's what other people do. But taking a red pill could be like, okay, y'all think y'all got me? Well, I'm gonna show y'all how I'm gonna use this degree. I'm gonna leverage this. Like I got a homie who got a degree from I think it's Cornell. My homie, he from Cleveland, and we was sitting at breakfast one day, me, him, and my artist friend Terry. When he told me he had a degree from Cornell, I was like, bro, you literally using them. And as a black man, bro, you show somebody that piece of paper, you can do whatever you want. That's a fact.
Nah,
he
no
knows
doubt.
that.
No doubt.
He knows that. But he used them and he didn't cause fall into the system. Like I know people who got master's degrees and got jobs where they only paying $40,000 a year and they trying to figure out where they went wrong. I'm like, well, you let them use you. First off, you should have really it's ways you can really decide what you love to do and go ahead and take courses and go to the best schools for that.
Yeah.
Like if I would have stayed in school, and obviously if I ever go back to school, like I even told somebody, I would go back to school even after I'm successfully a fashion designer, just so I can get sharper in areas like pattern making and stuff like that, just to learn from professionals. But I would go somewhere where they're strictly teaching that. Like I would go to Pratt, I would go to FIT, I would go to Parsons or something like that. That's how you gotta leverage this stuff, man. You just can't.
But I think that's leveraging skills. Like if you're gonna go to a skilled institute versus just going to a traditional institution. So like if you go to a skilled institution such as like Pratt or what is it, FIT or something like that, they teaching you soft skills on how to scale or grow whatever field you in, which is 9 out of 10 either fashion, art, or something like that. So it's all gonna play into a part. So skills versus traditional is in skills, your skills gonna help you grow your business. And traditional, like you said, I mean, it's a lot of false teachings. Like you got teachers teaching business who never had a business. Or you got people teaching, like even, I'm gonna take me for example. I'm in school, I learn, I pick and pull what I wanna learn. I don't take everything they say like they word and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna follow it like this and that. Nah.
Literally.
But being able to learn on my own and then apply it into my school, I feel like that's the best thing I could do. Because it raised the controversy in my classes and make people think.
Picking and pulling and like that's what we like to, take some information if it's beneficial, throw out the rest if it's garbage. That's taking a red pill too. You gotta be able to take a step back and just, we don't question enough things either. This is another thing I like to stress. You gotta question everything. You just get these answers from the time when you're a kid, you just accept them. Never take the time back to take a step back and just like, let me question this.
People be lazy, man. A lot of people don't like that uncomfortable feeling of having to do more digging. Like but that's how in the intellectual curiosity though, you gotta have that wire in your brain to be like, okay, let me. But like we got Google. Why would you not Google something, man?
You can ask questions, bro. See that's where I feel like that's what got me in trouble in school. Like was taking a finance course when I was in school. And a guy who was teaching finance course, I just had to ask, bro. I literally had to, because he was giving me, issues.
Oh yeah, you know they do.
And I had to ask. I was like, man, just be all the way honest with me. Come all the way clean. What's your salary, man? Like, what's your salary? I just want to know, bro, because I really want to know if I can learn from you.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna be all the way honest. A guy like me, I'm gonna be all the way honest. We don't even think about salary. I've never thought about making a salary.
Nah, but you don't even think about finance because your goal is to scale your business big enough where you become the greatest at what you do, which would be creativity.
I always tell people, it eventually pays out. Focus on the passion, it eventually pays out.
Exactly.
I feel like a lot of times we focus on money. If you watch Social Network, which is a great movie, one of my favorites, is about Mark Zuckerberg. Eduardo was always asking him, he would always walk in the dorm and say, all right, it's cool, but it's time to make this team, it's time to make the thing, it's time to monetize this thing. Zucker be like, why? He's like, because we need to make money. He's like, bro, but it's cool. That was gold. It's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool, bro. Focus on the passion and it'll pay out. We don't think about salaries. I'm not saying think about your money. This is not everybody's lane too, so be mindful of that. Like I said, if you're an investor, if that's what you do by trade for life, if you're in your Warren Buffett, think about money, obviously.
Do that, of course.
Think about money, obviously. But when you're trying to create something that's bigger than life, like that's what I'm on. Like obviously, getting rich is number one, number two in my life. But creating something that changes the world is first. And when you do something like that, it pays. Like Elon Musk, I think he had made like his net worth 180 million when he had something to do with PayPal.
And then dump
He reinvests every last dollar into Tesla.
Man.
Name me one person you know in your personal life who would do something like that. They be like, nah, I'm gonna dump that $80 million differences. I'm gonna keep this 100. I wanna go buy me a mansion and a few whips. Nah, he was like, nah, the vision. That's what I'm on. I'm on a vision. Now Tesla worth, what is it? A couple $100 trillion. If I'm not mistaken, is it some hundred?
Elon is the richest in the world. He's the richest man in the world. But the thing about Elon is though, I feel like a lot of people, everybody has the mental capacity to achieve whatever they want to achieve. It's all about those subconscious habits, though. Like when I watch interviews of Elon, Jeff, Bill, Zuck, they literally say they read. Man, they read all day. They like sponges. All they do is soaking up information, and that's how you grow your brain, your thoughts, and your creativity. So even touching on the fact that how you brought up Social Network, Eduardo was always talking about monetizing this thing, but Zuck was the creator of the thing. The creator's job ain't to bring in the money. The creator's job is to create.
But Zuck knew. He knew. Like he knew that it was gonna pay.
Oh yeah, of
like
course.
in the back, like bro, like when you really trust something, you know that it's gonna pay. I run into that issue sometimes with like I had a deep talk with one of my business partners when it comes to the clothing brand, and I was like, bro, my number one goal is getting people their garments, and every time they touch it, it's like, bro, he's not missing. Like. Forget making my pockets bigger. Like, that's going to happen. Believe it's going to happen. But I love the game so much. It's like, bro, do you know what type of kick I get when somebody get their package in the mail and then they DM me or text me like, bro, man, the quality is always there. You never miss.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I feed off of. And I'm telling you, 5 years, 6 years from now, I'll be like, man, I told y'all so. Yeah. This is $1 million, like this is $1 million business, bro. Yeah. This is although it's closing, it's creative. Like this is a multi-million-dollar business, a multi-million-dollar guy, all because I stayed true to the vision. And I didn't start selling out for money.
But boom, I got a crazy approach to the subconscious thing. Okay, so boom, subconsciously, your idea is to always create because you grew up in a creative household. Though your mom is creative, your sister's creative, both your sisters are creative. Me, I didn't really grow up in a creative household. I grew up in more so like not even a financial household, but like more so like a logical household, like logically think, critically thinking always and stuff like that. So my thought process is a lot different than your thought process, but that's just because on how I was wired versus how you was wired. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But as a creative, you not thinking about, I mean, of course you think about monetizing, making money off your brand, but you thinking like, shit, I'm just trying to put out what I create.
I'm gonna put it like this. Me and my business partner for the brand Lincoln, I remember we was low on funds. Cause that's the thing about any industry, if you're really in it, man. So speaking on the fashion industry, bro, it's an expensive thing to run if you're actually running it, right? We was low on funds, rent was due, all this stuff. And I had sent in 4 Letterman jacket designs. This is one of them, and you know it's gonna come out with the brown and the mustard sleeves, then the valedictorian and the high school history class jacket. I sent in those designs to my manufacturer, and he told me it was like $1,500 or a couple thousand to get the samples made. We didn't have it. I took my account to the negative. Me and Lincoln got into a big argument, right? We get the jackets in maybe a month later. I felt them. I was like, bro, these about to break the internet. Watch, right? Posted them. And with our level of following, and you know, you can see the insights on how many people sent it out. Pretty much broke the internet for our level of following. I'm not saying that way, you know what I'm saying, but
of course,
for our level of following, we broke the net. And I told him, and he turned back around. He said, "Bro, I'm happy you did that." And I was like, bro, all I want you to do is just trust my vision. I'm a real visionary, bro. I was like, I can afford being
A true
a
creative.
couple $1,000s in debt because I know that this is $1 million
You're true creative.
thing for real. And I was like, bro, just trust me. We actually dropped the jackets, boom, and we did 5 figures in 6 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's like that 2,000. Forget about it. We don't even know where it's at. It's in the dust.
Yeah.
But if I would have never took that step, and the world would have never saw what I was holding, because I designed these last almost 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to put them out. When it was time, I was like, it's time. And if I would have never did it because I was too busy thinking about a couple $1,000s, bro, that's all it was. Like when you see yourself as $1 million brand, bro, $1,000 is $1 to you.
Yeah,
if I would have just stayed stuck on that, where would I be? Where this would have never happened.
Of course.
And then most importantly, I would have never saw my vision. That's number one for me. I would have never saw my vision.
Exactly. Of course.
That's number one.
Of course. I mean, but most CEOs always say that get rich in your passion and then hire a bunch of people who are smarter than you. So like, I'm pretty sure Elon is not the smartest person at Tesla. He just had the vision for Tesla. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with Zuck, he probably wasn't the smartest person at Facebook. Like, even in the movie, the one that was coding, he was like, he's locked in. He's like 32 hours in. Like, when you hire people like that, I mean, even with business though, even as an entrepreneur, hiring an accountant that's better at business than you are is important because it's gonna scale your business and help you grow in areas that you not really as knowledgeable in.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Being a visionary is important, right? And I'm not
That's
saying
the most important part.
Because think about it. It was the Winklevoss twins who had the idea.
Man, they didn't have the skill though.
Zuck realized that they was, first off, they trying to outsource for stuff that they can't do. And as soon as he noticed that I'm like, okay, I'm Zuck and I'm capable of all this and I'm smarter than y'all.
Yeah.
I'm an action taker.
They didn't have the skills.
I'm an action taker. That's another subconscious thing. People that don't take action, they'll make a million excuses. I talked about this before, but excuses always lead back to 1, 2, or 3 paths. It's either fear, insecurity, or what was the last one? It's fear, insecurity, and there's one more that they always lead back to. Basically, what I was saying is the Winklevoss twins was just scared to take action. Like, what's up?
No, but you know, they wanted to take action.
They wanted to take action.
But they needed Zuck to take action. So it's like, if you need me and I don't need you, I'm going to just go ahead and do it. But I got a better idea for it. And I think that was Zuck's whole thing.
And when he was in the meeting with the lawyers and stuff, and they was like, did you steal their idea? He was like, bro, if I stole it, they would have made it.
That's true.
And that's just it's a dog world, but those is facts.
That's true. That's true.
That's the difference between, like, man, like if you know that you got great ideas and you haven't learned how to take action yet, bro, keep your mouth shut.
No, that's
Because I don't speak on nothing, bro, because I'm an action taker. Like, the stuff that's up my sleeve, as far as clothes, and the stuff that we got going on for Penthouse Project, which is why it's going to be #1 podcast all the time, we can't speak on because we're not naive to the fact that there's competition out here.
Scaling in private.
We got to scale in private because we action takers. And I feel like that's why, me and Sam, we both 21, and that's kind of was getting us ahead at such a young age because, bro, only difference between me and you is action. You know what I mean? I'm no different from nobody. He's no different from nobody. It's just action. And that's a subconscious thing. That's another reprogramming thing, bro. To get rid of all fear. Fear's going to come around, but the difference between somebody who is a beast and somebody who's not is I know how to handle fear. You will never know when I'm scared. And I be scared, bro. I be scared. I'm 21. I'm in Atlanta myself. I pay all my own bills, bro. I be scared, bro.
Of course.
I be scared, but you will never see it.
Nah.
And that's a learned thing. You know what I'm saying?
We rewired though. We reprogrammed our brains to not feel these same emotions because we didn't like how they felt. I don't like the feeling of fear. I don't like the feeling of being insecure. Like that stuff is you can change that. So if you program yourself through the subconscious mind and the power of your habits, like if somebody's insecure about their looks, change your body. Just usually like literally follow the habits of changing your body and work out every single day, and your looks will change.
Man, So we said first step is recognizing that there is a subconscious. What was step
versus conscious.
What was step 2?
Step 2 was, I think it was figuring out what you want.
Yeah, figuring out what you want. Then number 3, right? Now this is important. Thoughts. If you tell yourself, I got this new lady friend. And I told her, I was like, yo, don't say I'm sick or don't say this or that because Your brain don't know the difference between truth and false.
Nah, real talk.
Every time me and Sam talk, and he say something crazy or something, or we just say something crazy, I'm like, man, I can't do that, bro. I'm a millionaire.
Of
I'm
course.
gonna tell you right now, my net worth is not $1 million.
Bro, we literally at the age of 18 in a dorm. We was in a dorm. I remember the spring semester. We was in a dorm. We had watched a Robert Kiyosaki interview, and he was like, "If you don't have money, stop saying that you broke, because you're not broke. Broke is of the mind. Just say you don't have it right now." And we literally, I never said I was broke after that.
I don't even know how to say that no more. But
Like,
back to my last point, ask my homies, man, I don't get sick that much.
Nah, dude, don't get sick for real.
I don't get sick for real because that's just not even how I'm thinking. I promise you, if I feel a little something, everybody know in here I'm a weightlifter. Everybody know that. But if you catch me on that treadmill, I was probably feeling a little something. I'd rather go ahead and if I feel something, all right, I ain't even thinking about it. Let's just go ahead. Because it's like, bro, your brain don't know the difference between true and false.
Don't.
So
And
if you
actually-
tell yourself, man, I be telling all my homies, man, even if you're not a dog, bro, even if you're not a beast, bro, tell yourself that. Because I promise you, man, you'll be surprised, where you end up.
What you fear is what you attract, though.
For real. What you fear is what you attract. And that's tough because, like I said, we all got fears, but you got to know how to be, like, straight up just like, bro, I ain't scared of nothing, bro. And that's what I realized. Somebody asked me, was I scared to die? I was like, man, you know what, bro? If I die today, one thing everybody gonna say is that young man was headed somewhere. I had to get rid of my fear of death because what you fear is what you attract. Like, you can't fear nothing in this world, man, because, like I said, it's inevitable, but you gotta learn how to control it. That's what I meant to say. You gotta learn how to control your fears. You know what I'm saying? Because you'll end up attracting it. Like, man, I remember when COVID first hit, had to move back home with my dukes because they just shut the whole. I had just dropped out at the time.
Whole world was shut down.
He was still in school, but they shut the campus down, and I was living with him when I first dropped out because I was homeless, so we had to go back to Cleveland. And when COVID first dropped, bro, my mom and everybody was just COVID shook. Bro, my mama, you can ask my sister, bro, I was outside, no mask. Bro, I ain't catching no COVID, bro. You know what I'm saying? One, because I did my research. And I was like, man, I remember Trump had called it the Chinese virus, man. I'm not a fan of Trump, but I'm gonna tell you right now, he called it the Chinese virus because they was over there manufacturing that in 2015. Once I realized that it was something they made in the lab, man, I was like, man, we can't fear this. How we gonna rise above something that we scared of? So I was outside, no mask. People looking at me like I'm crazy to this day, bro. When I walk in the store, they gotta forcefully give me a mask. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, y'all trying to have us in a state of submission and fear over something that they claim to be no more dangerous than the flu. You know how long the flu been around? Man, people ain't never cared about the flu like this. People ain't never cared about the flu like this, man. So it's like living in fear is what's gonna keep us behind, bro. Fortune favors the bold.
Oh, that's a fact.
Fortune favors the bold, man. People that scared, man, it's like, hey, man, I know I feel sorry for you. I want to give you a hug, man, but you gonna stay depressed. You gonna stay getting hammered financially. You gonna stay if you a kid in high school who get bullied. You gonna stay getting bullied. Remember the first time I stood up to a guy who tried to bully me. You know what I'm saying? It's like
high risk, high reward.
Yeah. I've never really been a scared dude. But the first time I was a freshman in my high school, dude tried to be on some bully stuff, and I handled mine. It was like ever since that day, it was respect.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, though, the things you scared of, and it's bro, they're not that big and macho as you believe. Why you think it's people out here that can know how to tame lions and pet lions and stuff? Because they learn how to. You just can't fear these things, man.
But even touching on COVID, man, when COVID first hit and they dropped the remedies list. Like what you can do to keep it away, like ginger, working out. I'm like, man, I already do this. I'm like, how can I catch this and already do everything to prevent me from it?
Man, listen.
I'm like, man, I'm not scared of this.
Part of the Penthouse Project 1% lifestyle, man, is unplug, man. You gotta unplug. You cannot claim to be a 1%er and all this. Like I said, it's like taking a red pill to blue pill. Once you take that blue pill, man, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? You'll be happier, so it seems. You know what I'm saying? Now the difference is, we're taking the red pills. Your happiness depends on you. When you take that blue pill, the happiness depends on external forces in the world. You know what I'm saying? Stimulation from the apps the food that we eat, the apps that we own. Your happiness is gonna depend on that when you take that blue pill. I promise you. Take that red pill, your happiness depends on you. And at first it's gonna be hard. But once you learn how to reprogram your subconscious and become aware of the things that make you unhappy and the things that make you happy for real, bro, you become a beast.
And one thing about me is I'm a peaceful person. So when you operate out of peace, everything you do is happy. And it's vice versa. Everything you do when you happy is peaceful. So I think but a part of that comes from meditation and practicing controlling my thoughts. Because I'm able to control my thoughts to always think happy thoughts versus negative thoughts. Even if I'm in a negative situation, I'm going to think about the good of the situation, on how it made me tougher, how it made me a better person, and how I can grow from it.
Look.
In the next situation, I'm good.
Look, part of the Penthouse Project lifestyle, bro, is, like I said before, unplugging. You got to unplug. Just like when I say unplug, if, we all heard of something called fake news. Spoiler alert, bro, this government, everything is not here to help us. Unplug. You can live a great life financially. You can have a happy family. You can be happy. Go ahead and get the stuff that we know we need. Number one, which is wealth. We know we need this.
The books.
We know we need this. We know we need this because how else are you going to have a truly peaceful life? Because one thing about bills, they're not going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? So go and get wealthy. Unplug from some people chose a career in politics, but unplug, man. Turn off the news. It's poison, man.
It is.
Turn off the news.
It is.
Don't unfollow all the shade rooms. Unfollow the shade room. Unfollow the what's the other ones? I don't even know. It's those pages.
I don't even follow them.
Those gossiping pages, man. That stuff is doing
Remembrance
nothing.
pages.
Yeah, man. All that stuff is doing is
man, I can't do it.
Believe it or not, you feel something. You see something it's sad stuff that go around in impoverished neighborhoods on these Instagram pages. They'll show stuff like it was a gang war and a 2-year-old kid got hit, and then what we do is we repost it. And a whole bunch of people repost it.
Everybody keeps seeing it.
And we just keep seeing it. And then we just man, one thing about life, man, tragic things happen. This life thing is not fair. It's not fair. But you want to make your everyday life happier, man, you got to unplug.
Yeah, because seeing that is going to make you sad. Seeing the 2-year-old die is going to make anybody sad.
Bro, law number 10, avoid the unhappy and unlucky. If it's somebody around you like this, tell them yo, bro, I love you, but you got to go. It's in here.
It's deep in there.
It's in here.
It's deep in there.
You gotta go. You gotta go deal with that.
Got to, man.
Give people their distance, man. Whether it's a girl you dealing with, a guy. If you know this person is always negative, give them their distance. Give them their education. Tell them how they can fix this. And if they just don't want to change, man, you gotta leave that person alone because they say law number 10, Robert Greene, 48 Laws of Power. Avoid the unhappy and unlucky because you will get poisoned.
Yeah.
You will get poisoned. Believe it or not.
It's a trickle-down effect.
Yeah, it's a trickle-down effect, man. I promise you, man.
It's like anything.
Avoid it at all costs.
But even touching on us, anybody that's hung around us or even know us, we two are the most confident people that most people even know. So if you hang around us, you're gonna be the 3rd, 4th, or 5th most confident person, and next thing you know, people calling you confident.
But we always give people their space if they all right, so. I be having this altercation sometimes with some people that I'm close to. It's oh man, it's man, Ron, you always want to be the greatest. You always want to be number one. I'll just be hey, we can either be great together, we can either be the greatest together, or you can go home and figure out what's going on the inside because if you come around, we trying to do this thing. If we bring you on as a homie, because bro, I've had the same homie since high school. I don't do new friends. That's a real thing, bro. I don't do new friends. I do new business partners and new associates. I'm not an a-hole. I don't do new friends because a friendship is something that really takes a long time to build. So if you come around us, bro, that's a responsibility. We all each other's responsibility. So if you lacking in any area, then we here to uplift you. But if you feel like it's some arrogance or some I don't know, some macho man type mentality, we gotta give you a break. You're not taking a break from us, promise you. We gotta give you a break.
Yeah, that's all.
Because it's something that you gotta deal with, and I'm trying to tell you how you can handle these things, but we gotta give you a break. Because that's not the mindset. Because the thing is, bro, you can be the greatest. Like I said before, all of us are made equal. We all got the same playing field. It's all about who decide to reprogram their subconscious and take full control of their life, 100% control of your life. I remember my mom told me not to get tatted, bro. I'm tatted all the way up to my neck and my head, and I'm having success in business because I knew that it was bro, wait, you shouldn't get tattoos. It's gonna do business. Bro, whose rule is that? Where did that come from?
It's nobody's
that's why I'm saying that's questioning stuff. Bro, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, bro, this is a vessel. We renting this, right? We rent an apartment. We can decorate however we want.
That's all you're doing.
You rent this.
That's all you're doing.
All you can really do is be happy if you got blessed with a good one, a good looking one. But you rent this.
Anybody can make a good looking body though.
Yeah, you rent this, man.
But even touching on somebody calling you trying to be the greatest or that, I feel like that mean if you feel like what somebody else is doing is affecting you, that mean you competing with that person. Why am I competing with you? Yeah, be the greatest version of you, but I'm be the greatest version of me. So I'm not in competition
together though. Let's be the greatest group to ever come across.
But we gonna be that if everybody is great within themselves, bro.
Yeah, but see, my thing is, and it's like, when I say the greatest, people get it confused. Like, we're not literally pointing at them like, oh, I want to be better than them. It's like, we worked so hard to the point where, like, I was watching a Kobe documentary. This is perfect. Kobe was like, yo, I'll get up at 4, go hoop. I think he said, like, chill for a little bit, go hoop again at 10 or something crazy. He had some crazy, he's like, and then there's young cats who come in and they don't work out till 10 or 12. And it's like, over time, the separation has gotten so crazy. Like, yes, we both going up, but the separation has gotten so crazy because of how much work I put in.
Yeah.
How much work I put in.
Can't be offended about how much work somebody put in.
How much work I put in. And that's taking over. Like, bro, it's like subconsciously, you don't even know how powerful your brain is, bro. I remember the first time I did a polar plunge, I couldn't last 30 seconds. A week later, I was at 15 minutes in 44-degree water. 15 minutes sitting there chilling. You don't know how powerful your brain is, bro.
It's crazy how much of a habit I made that. We do a polar plunge every single day. But even on the days where I can't do a polar plunge, I'm taking a cold shower. Cold therapy is part of my habits. I did it 21 days straight. It's my life now. Like, the programming your habits is the most important thing, and programming your mind to know that you're the best version of you, or you gonna become the best version of you, or better than yesterday's you, is important. But people be, competition. That's right. Social media though. Comparison is the thief of joy. Everybody know that. So if you on social media always comparing yourself to somebody, or even in real life, if you always looking at somebody as competition, or that you got to be better than them or one up that person, you never gonna truly attain happiness. Just be the best version of you.
Bro, be different, bro. And I'm not saying like one of those like forcefully different, bro.
Different.
Being different is acting on your own ideas. That's all it is. If you know that nobody has done it before, bro, do it. Like I always tell my business partner, bro, like, yo, don't send me clothing drops from other brands.
Man,
I'm not hating. I love to see everybody go up. But I'm creating from my own mind, my own brain.
It's your own creativity.
My design process is create the essentials the best way possible. That's what Apple did, right? Create the essentials the best way possible. The essentials: hoodies, tees, letterman jackets, hats, pants, workwear. Yeah. My own way, the best way possible. I'm not really into avant-garde. I'm not into cutting and sewing. Even though pieces I make take cutting and sewing, I'm all about making the essentials the best way, the best quality possible from my own inspiration.
And you know why you're going to win? Because authenticity takes away competition. If you always you, nobody can compete against you because only you can be you.
But it's like, why am I looking at this other brand if the dude who started that and me didn't have the same life experience?
I'm not even the same person.
Nobody even know why I use pink that much. Bro, my childhood home was pink, bro. I had the best childhood ever. That's where the old pink thing come from. But it's like, I can't be looking at Joe Schmo's brand and trying to pull inspiration because ain't no telling why he used that patch on his letterman jacket.
Nah.
It came from somewhere in here, something that he been through if he's truly a creative. Yeah. Right? Yeah. I'm not just slapping anything for everybody, bro. There's a lot of things that circulate in the industry that's the same. Overuse of smiley faces, overuse of this, and that. Because nobody is here. Nobody going on the inside.
Authentic no
Nobody going back to being a kid. See, that's what it is. That's a true creative is the person who stays a kid.
Always curious.
Always curious.
Always curious.
You never. First off, we don't even know if time is. We don't even know if time is real. We don't know the whole age thing. Age is according to the Gregorian calendar, so we don't know. We just know that you die one day.
Yeah.
But one thing about me, bro, I'm gonna stay not childish, but I'm gonna stay a kid, bro. I'm gonna always.
Youth is of the mind.
Like, bro, people always ask me why I still watch cartoons. It's like, bro, cartoons are some of the most creative shit you ever saw. Like, wow.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? I go to a place of childhood, And even I even pull from traumas. Like, I do a lot of sexual references in my clothes. I experienced sexual stuff at a young age. That's my life, though.
Yeah,
that's what's gonna make me me. That's gonna make me unique.
Yeah,
like,
that's what make your clothes you.
So I always tell people, like, man, you know, unless it's a homie who got a dope clothing brand or something, like, bro, don't send me nothing from Supreme. You know what I mean? Like, bro, Supreme done already made it.
No, I feel you.
I'm trying to, what's the word? Succeed them. I'm trying to be the next
man,
bigger and better.
Trust
from
me.
a black man. That's what I'm on.
I hear it. I hear it all the time, man. You know how many people tell me that they lawyers, but telling me I should go to this school, that school, this school. What work for you not always gonna work for me. I'm gonna pick and pull from what you say, but I'm gonna take my own route and I'm gonna put a spin on it. I'm not looking into. I mean, of course, I want to go to a great accredited law school, but I don't gotta go to the best law school because I know when I get out, I'm gonna make something happen for me because I'm always gonna be me. I can stand on my own 10 and start my own firm.
When you making a baby, right? You creating, bro. We was put here to create. That's like one of the that's life, bro. Like this microphone. You know what I'm saying? This building that we in, that's all creativity. Like, it's not just drawing, bro. It's not just designing clothes, not just painting, bro. Creativity is something that comes from the inside. And what I'm saying is, bro, like, bro, take action on your ideas and be different. And I'm not saying like one of those forcefully different, just trying to be so, I don't even like to use the word weird, but just, you know, just trying to stick out like a sore thumb to the point where it looks bad. But just go on inside, bro. Like, that's literally what made Virgil. That's literally what made Virgil. Like, he had a whole different vision for Louis. Like, he's out here making Averex jackets, right? He made, like, his last runway show, or 2 runway shows ago, it was a jacket. It's like, it was a gradient type green fading to yellow with the LV kind of like 80s like stick figure. He went here. Come on, man. You can't stress that enough, man. You cannot stress this stuff enough, man.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, tie back into our whole point, the conscious versus subconscious. That's all subconscious programming. Your habits, who you are. Tap into those things. And when you read self-help books, but read what you into, man. Read something that you feel like is your interest. So if I'm interested in learning about the brain, I'm going to read about the brain. If I'm interested in learning about law, I'm going to read laws. Like, read what you into. Don't read just to read. Read to retain information.
You know what else? Another point. Bro, every day you wake up, you look in the mirror, try to figure out more of who you are every day. It's called self-actualization. You reach it usually at an old age. Yeah. You reach it usually at an old age, so it's not something that you want to rush, but you want to take the initiative every day to figure out who you are, right? You know what I'm saying? Because every day I figure out more about myself. And sometimes I have rude awakenings. Bro, we overstimulated. Sometimes we pick on stuff that was never us in the first place. And we already know what we're talking about. We've had this conversation before. Sometimes we overstimulated and we pick on stuff that was never us in the first place. Figure out who you are. Sometimes you got to go to your childhood. Like, even ask your mom, like, Mom, what was that unique thing that you always saw me doing when I was a kid?
Your mom can always tell you what you was best at. Your mom know you best. My mom had this conversation all the time. My mom will literally sit there and tell me my soft skills that I always had growing up. And now that I translate these things, it becomes so easy for me to operate when I'm doing these things. It's like a second nature.
Stay on lane, man. Like, stay on lane. Like, I'm like even when you start branching out, take the skill that had you successful your first lane to the next lane. For instance, prime example, started out, Penthouse USA, the clothing brand that's finna be the biggest clothing brand in the world. When we started Penthouse Project, you know, the feed, the color scheme, that's all me because I took my creativity to the next lane, bro. It's gonna make your life much easier. I never try to branch out. Well, I learn from the people around me, but areas where people is most strong, bro, I always let other people speak, man, and help. That's the whole point of a team. You know what I mean? So when you start branching out to those other lanes, man, like I said, figure out who you are, what's your strong suit. You got to start working on that reprogramming the subconscious mind, and then you start really starting your life. It's like, damn, bro, I feel like I was never alive before. I'm alive now.
And remember, iron sharpens iron. So who you hang around, reprogram who you hang around too. So because who you hang around, what people speak into you is important. Because growing up as a kid, when you raising your kid between, like we said, that age was 1 through 7, what you speaking to your kid is what your kid is gonna believe. So if you always speaking negative thoughts, I think it was a theory done on it. It was a flower. They spoke positive thoughts into one flower, negative thoughts into the other flower.
Yeah.
The negative thought, the negative flower ended up dying.
It died.
Positive flower ended up blooming.
Look, Yeah, that's real facts, man. Make the subconscious effort to change little things. I don't know if ever, I mean, the reel that I posted at the beginning, y'all seen, I said, I brush my teeth with my left. Do something like that. If you're left-handed, do it with your right. It's going to feel so awkward. It should never feel that awkward, right? Bro, you've been doing this since you were, first learn how to brush your teeth. Like, bro, I'm telling you, like, these is the baby steps. These is the baby steps. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, overview, right? Type thing. The subconscious and the conscious brains are two different things. Like, I'm finna make a conscious effort to smack myself in the face. Subconsciously, like, he could probably pick up on something subconscious that I do. How I get up, which side of the bed I get out on. What else? Which side of my mouth I like to chew with the most. Just, these is all subconscious things, and you pick out the negative ones and you start making an effort to change them, rewiring yourself, and then you become a new person, literally. You know what I'm saying? Literally. Like I said, we still gonna drop those links to those books and those videos and those playlists because that's a start, and that's all I got with you.
Micro actions, macro patience. Be patient, man. Be patient with yourself and be patient with your goals. And just make sure you're taking them everyday steps, like you always say. Take those actions every single day to become or to reprogram yourself to be who you want to be.
All right, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to episode 3 of the Penthouse Project. If you didn't get a chance to get a Lifestyle Done Correctly hoodie, we're not going to close the site until Friday. Go ahead and go grab you one. For the people who did cop, give us about 2 weeks for production. And we are dropping clothes pretty frequently, so just stay on Instagram, Twitter, and everything for updates.
See y'all again next Wednesday.